in early February, we understood that we are up against a new pandemic. We didn't know what it is. Is it the Spanish pandemic? Is it SARS? Is it something else? The only thing Israel did know that it is reaching it very quickly, and that we had to control the pandemic and the infection ratio. So what do you do when you have pandemic in your hands? Obviously, the strategies are similar to other pandemics. First, we have to trace the infected person. Then we have to understand where he's been in the last 2 weeks. Now, I don't know what about you, but I don't even remember what I did last night. So asking me where I've been in the last 2 weeks would be very hard to remember. After that, we also need to understand who he's been in contact with, close contact, 2 meters for up than 15 minutes, and that's a hard task. And then we have to make sure that those who were in contact with him go into quarantine and get protected. So obviously the problem was first, track those who you were in contact with, then quickly notify them, and last, get them into quarantine. And this is obviously something that needs to be addressed by technology. And the solution was obvious. Mobile technology was the most matured one. But you know, mobile technology also has limitations, such as accuracy. We have to make sure that we know how far you've been, who you've been in contact with, for how long you've been in contact with. Also, there's a privacy matter. We don't want people to know where we've been, or for how long, who we've met. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't want people to trace my actions during the day. So privacy is also important. There also are other limitations, such as population that do not have smartphones. And what about if a mother gave her phone to her son? What about if I forgot it at home? So we did have to find out how to deal with these limitations, or at least acknowledge them. Also, technology was not the only thing we had to take into account. You know, when you come into close encounter with a pandemic, or pandemic in general causes panic, fear, and stress. And we needed to address this psychological issue of human behavior, the need for control, the need for certainty. So when taking all of this into consideration, we came out with 5 core values. First of all, quickness. We needed to stop the chain of infection quickly. So we needed to make sure that people get notified very quickly and understand how to go into quarantine as quickly as possible. Solidarity. It is very important to understand that this war, let's say, is not my war or your war. The solution is based on us understanding that we are a part of a community. And as long as we keep ourselves safe, we keep the community safe. So solidarity was a very important value. Also, simplicity. We wanted to make sure that the app would be very simple. The solution would be simple to understand. Reliability. We talked about it. We have to make sure that we are very accurate. We need to make the public be able to rely on the solution. And last but not least, trust. Everything is based on trust. And the government bringing up a solution, an app, which is talking about contact tracing, I must say that trust is a very interesting issue. So how did we do it? First of all, we talked about how quickly we get you into action. How do we do it? We integrated in this app simple call to action buttons. The information is very simple. You don't have to read a lot. The language is clear in order for you to understand what is needed of you and how you actually go through the motion. Designed for simplicity. Everything about this app is simple. We wanted to make sure that even if you are not a tech frenzy, you will know how to act and when to act upon. So simple screens, simple messages, simple language, simple instructions for you to follow and go into quarantine immediately. Manage for reliability. We wanted to make sure that the app is as accurate as possible. Now, this is something we are still struggling on because it isn't simple. It isn't simple around the world, and it isn't simple here in Israel. But we do have hope because we hope to launch very soon a new version of the app, which is not only based on GPS and location technology, but is also based on Bluetooth technology, which enables us to be more accurate. We also have the call center ready for you to call, and we also still have and will always have the staff pandemic investigation. And last but not least, I think it's the most important one, is the balance between the protecting of lives, the need to protect lives, and the need to protect our privacy. And I think this is something that was core value in the planning of how the app would work. We needed to find the optimal balance between that. And how did we do that? First of all, it's an opt-in of everything, opt-in app. You have to agree, you have to download it, it's voluntarily. Secondly, the architecture. The architecture is one that all the information stays in your device. The only way to share this information with the Ministry of Health is by accepting the share and not having you, and it doesn't mean that you have to share it. We have no knowledge of where you've been, if you got notified, if you got into quarantine, but we want to work on that trust. And for that, we also used open source platform. So everybody could see what we're doing. Nothing is in the dark. You can see everything. But the main important is that you have the control. You can decide what and when you want to do. But you also have the responsibility for your life and for the others. And that's an important key to make us work together in trust. Thank you.